Okay, everyone. So before we get into today's episode, we are going to talk about something really cool that happened to us last night. So I have AJ joining me before we even start the whole episode. So you're going to be at the beginning and the end.
That's right.
You're welcome. So AJ's dream growing up was always to sing with Whitney Houston, which when he was how old?
17.
17, that dream came true. He was at one of Whitney's concerts, standing in the front row. She noticed him singing, pulled him on stage, and AJ got to sing. What did you sing with her?
I sang a song called Shoot from Waiting to Exhale.
I was hoping for a little.
Everyone falls in love sometimes. But the part where it goes, shoot, shoot. Actually, I screwed this up one time on the radio after Whitney Houston passed. They had me call in and I had to talk about how I sang Whitney Houston. I was so nervous and I got on the radio. To go, shoot, shoot, bedoop, shoot, bedoop, which is a different song.
Sang the wrong song. So we last night went to the Patti LaBelle concert, and we've had these tickets for like 2 months, and he's been saying, I'm going to sing with Patti LaBelle. I'm going to sing with Patti LaBelle.
Saying I'm going to sing with Patti LaBelle for like a couple of years because we tried to go to one of her other shows that I think got canceled.
Oh, right.
And I've been saying this for a while.
He's been saying, I'm going to sing with Patti LaBelle. And I'm like, okay, great. And so last night we were getting ready for the concert. We were starving. So we just went and stopped at this place called Velvet Taco. And we're like, okay, let's just get some food and then we'll head over there. So we're ordering food. We sit down. We're waiting for our name to be called. And all of a sudden these two ladies are kind of staring at you.
Yeah.
And this one lady walks by AJ and she just like walks up to him and says,
yeah, we're sitting there. All of a sudden, this lady walks up to me and she goes, you look like someone that's going to be on a stage tonight.
And I literally, it takes a lot for me to be speechless or to not have anything to say or come back. And I literally was like, what the fuck did she just say?
I know. We were like, what? The other lady looks at me and she goes, you look amazing. And I was like, thank you so much. And it was an easy, quick exchange and they left. And so we're sitting there and Ben, you're like, literally like, I literally am never this speechless. Like, I can't believe she just said that because clearly they have no idea about anything that's happening in our lives. They just saw me. They saw how I was dressed and obviously they thought I looked good. But the thing that she said was, you look like someone that's going to be on stage tonight. Mm-hmm. So when we finish our food, I'm like, I need to go up to her. So I went up and I knelt down at the table and I said, you could have said anything to me tonight. And you did. You said, I look amazing and I appreciate that. But it's the first thing that you chose to say, the words you said. And I was like, you have no idea about what we're about to go and do. And then I proceeded to say to her, years ago when I was younger, I dreamt of singing with Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston pulled me on stage to sing with her. And I was like, tonight I'm going to see Patti LaBelle. And I've been saying, I think I'm going to sing with Patti LaBelle. Like, I'm going to get on stage with Patti LaBelle. And I'm like, I believe that this is going to happen tonight. And you just
solidified it. And in typical AJ fashion, he's like, we should connect on Instagram. I'm like, oh God, no. And she's a knitter and now they're buddies. And
literally she's like, we can, but she's like, I don't have that many followers. And she, bless her, I think I'm her 14th. She had 13 followers. Yeah. Either I'm 13 or I'm the 14th follower. And she is so nice. And she's the sweetest. And she knits. And everything's this knitting. I'm going to have something made from her. For sure.
Of course you will. Yeah. So we leave there and we were texting with Caroline Ray and we're talking about, we're like, man, she's like, you're going to manifest this. It's going to happen. And so we get to the concert. We happen to be front row. Like,
well, you're missing a big part because when Caroline was here, I had mentioned to her, like I've mentioned to everyone, I'm going to sing with Patti LaBelle. And so Caroline was like, wait, I think I might know someone that knows Patti LaBelle. And so she called up Kim Whitley when we were in the car. You had already gone with some friends and I was dropping her off. Mm-hmm. And she called up Kim Whitley when we were in the car. And she's like, Kim, do we know someone that knows Patti LaBelle? And Kim was like, yeah, Dee Dee, who's Patti's makeup artist, who they also have at times as their makeup artist. And so we all just, chatted quickly about how like maybe Dee Dee could help me get aligned with Patti LaBelle. And that was weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so then yesterday when we were going to go to the show, I just said to Caroline, tonight's the night I'm going to sing with Patti LaBelle because I believe it. Like I believed I was going to sing with Patti LaBelle. And Caroline was like, hold up. And then, I could tell she was doing something. She's like, wait, I'll get back to you. And she's doing some stuff in the background. Next thing I know, I'm on text with Dee Dee. And Caroline's introducing us. She's like, you're both amazing. AJ's an amazing singer. And I was like, it's so nice to meet you, Dee Dee. Caroline had sent her my photo. And I said, you know, I told her about Whitney Houston. And I was like, I hope that Patti LaBelle feels the same way and feels my energy the way Whitney did and pulls me up on stage. That was it.
Yeah. And during the whole concert, you know, that like we're staying up and I'm like, whenever it was like quiet or any moment, I'm like, AJ, sing. Like, you got to be heard. You got to be seen.
Well, because there was times where Patti was looking at me, you saw, and she was like, give me little winks and stuff.
And I'm like, AJ, sing, like louder, sing, monkey, sing. And then by the end, you know, there's intermission. And by the end of the concert, like the last song, she's like, I need 4 guys to get up here and sing. You can be gay, straight, black, white. I don't care. 4 guys. And
so of course I'm like, come on. And when we all get up there, there's like a row of us. And I just naturally went towards the backup singers, towards that way. And she went down the row and had these people attempt to sing or dance.
Which wasn't great.
Yeah, there were some people trying, but it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I just landed at the perfect spot. Like everything happens the way it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And I'm at the end and she got to me.
AJ starts singing. I'll post this clip on my Instagram so everyone can see it. But AJ starts singing, does this thing. The crowd's going crazy. And then this fucking...
She was getting into it.
She was doing a little bop. Fucking this security guard was such a dick. He comes up and rips the mic out of AJ's hands like, you're done. And then, let me finish. And then Patti was like, what? And she grabs the mic from the security guard and gives it back to AJ and is like, sing again. And it was like, the security guard was, I'm all about security, but he was a little over the top.
No, it's okay. Because I was out on that stage doing my thing. Also trying to rile up the audience, being like, why'd y'all up on your feet this whole concert? Because honestly, the whole night, like everyone should have been dancing more. Like everyone was kind of sitting down the whole night.
We weren't.
No, we weren't. But like if you turn the whole rest of the place was not a lot of people were up moving around. I'm like, get up.
Get the fuck up. Patti LaBelle is 80 years old. You better get up and enjoy this.
Up on that stage in heels and that they had a great show. It was a great show.
Yeah.
She threw her mic stand at one point. Like she was
kicked her shoes off.
Yeah. She's the best.
She was great.
She is a legend. And so, so she's like, no, here, come on, keep singing, sing again. It was great.
So we wanted to share that before we even got into it.
And
oh boy,
I just have to say, afterwards, I obviously reached out to Caroline and to Dee Dee on text. I was like, that was amazing. Dee Dee had taken videos of me from backstage and sent those, which was so nice. You know, and I just said, I'm so thankful. I was like, please let Patti know, Miss Patti, that I'm so grateful. And Dee Dee texted me back and she was like, Patti said, you did your thing, which I love that she said that. And she also said that she gave me that mic again because she knew who I was.
There you go. Okay, so we had this little segment before the show even starts because it was such a huge moment and AJ got to live out another dream. So congratulations. And I got this one on camera for everyone that when I missed him singing happy birthday to Caroline, I got this fucking thing on camera. I recorded it all. I took pictures of it all. I didn't fuck up.
Here's my final message before you kick off your whole podcast. I dreamt that I was going to sing with Whitney Houston. I believed it. I saw the vision of it. Even though I didn't necessarily know the picture, how it would come to life, I knew the energy of it. It came to life. I dreamt that I was going to sing around the world after I met Wayne Dyer. If anyone knows who Wayne Dyer is, he's passed, but an amazing man. I went to school with his daughter, who's a global motivational speaker, incredible human. After I met him, I dreamt that I would speak around the world. I have spoken around the world in like more than 13 countries. And I made it happen. And I dreamt that I could sing with Patti LaBelle. And I've been telling everyone. And look what happened. So I believe if you believe in things that are possible and you put good intentions in the world and you show up, things show up for you.
Okay, there you have it. But now this is my fucking show, so let's get on with It's Been a Week. Here we go. What is up, everyone? Welcome to It's Been a Week. I'm your host, Ben McDonald, and this is your weekly dose of whatever the hell just happened. Been a week. It has been a week. Welcome back, everyone. This week's episode, we're going to be joined by my friend Elise. We're going to talk about the Stagecoach Music Festival that we went to last weekend, and we're going to be talking all things Coachella and Stagecoach and just kind of festivals and everything that happens at festivals. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about airplane etiquette. And I think this is a public service announcement for everyone. It may be you that is the problem, or you definitely know someone who's the problem, or you've experienced these problems, and we need to talk about it. I'm not even going to get into airport etiquette because that's a whole nother issue. People not knowing, TSA clear what zone they're in for boarding. Like, we can get into that another day, but today we're going to talk about being on the actual plane. Okay. So here's the deal. When you fly private, it ruins you. It destroys you, because then you go back to commercial flights and you realize all the bullshit you have to deal with. But I understand that we can't all fly privately. So that's just not a reality for most people. And flying commercial, like, look, I'm going to sound bougie and I'm going to sound, you can roll your eyes. I can't see you, but if you're listening, go on, roll them. I like to sit in first class. That's where I thrive there. I thrive on having a cocktail. I thrive on getting on and off the plane first. I need more leg room. I'm a big person. I'm a big unit. So I do better there. Okay. It's just where I want to be. This last trip, we had to change our flight last minute because I had a horse that was colicking, and luckily he's okay. If you don't know what colicking is, it's when horses intestines starts twisting and they can die from it. And it's a horrible, horrible thing. So my horse Fame was colicking, but don't worry. I got Dr. Vet Ben over here. I got it completely under control and he's all good. So we had to switch our flight to a later flight, and due to switching the flight, there was no first class seats left. So we had to take, we were in the, not the exit row, but we were right in front of the exit row. And we were like, oh, this is going to be great because there's only 2 seats. So we're like, we don't have to sit next to anyone. Well, it was awful. Okay. So American Airlines, you should be ashamed of yourselves. These seats that you have to pay extra to sit in, they don't recline. They are so tiny. It was the worst experience. And then also it's not just the 2 of you. There's a jump seat next to you. So you really have to sit with the flight attendant, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. And there's nothing, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. There's nothing worse than walking onto the plane and walking past everyone, sitting in first class, enjoying their cocktail while you have to go to the backside of the plane. I'm sorry, I'm saying it. It sucks. But anyways, we need to talk about some etiquette things that happen on airplanes. And this happens in whichever class you're sitting, whether you're in first class, premium economy, coach, basic economy, or in the jump seat. I don't know, wherever you're sitting. There's so many things that I don't fully understand why people feel the need to do this. We were boarding our flight, and as we're getting on, there's a mother behind us with 3 kids, and they are snotty, coughing, sneezing, like so physically, like you could see how ill these kids are. I'm like, okay, maybe if your kids are this sick, maybe we shouldn't take the flight. Maybe we should sit this one out. I mean, these kids were, they literally were snot running out their nose, and they weren't like babies. Like, these kids were 10 or 8. I don't know. I don't know how to judge kids' ages, but I was like, what are you doing? Do you really need to be getting on the flight? I mean, it's like we're going to be on this tube with recycled air. Okay. So we're sitting down, we take our seat. What the lack of self-awareness that people have. If you go on an airplane and your carry-on item is a backpack, when you are walking down the fucking aisle, take the backpack off and hold it in front of you and walk down the aisle. When you wear it like a backpack and you're going boom, 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 hitting every person on your left and right as you make it back to 47C, take it off. I don't do you, I know you feel it. You feel your backpack hitting people and you just don't care. I mean, it's like, what the hell? And I don't know what it is where people on airplanes feel the need to have stuffed animals. Is there a way for someone to explain this to me? Because if you are past the age of 10, there is no need to have a stuffed animal. You don't need a stuffy. You don't need a beanie baby. You don't need any of this shit. Why are there full-grown adults with their blankie and a stuffed animal? If you're a nervous flyer, take a Xanax like the rest of us. What do you do? What is this little stuffed turtle going to do to help you with your flight? You can't tell me that your anxiety is calm because you can touch this fluffy little animal. I ain't buying it. What? No. So I sit down. We're in our seat, which is extremely small, and you don't get a cocktail. So we're just sitting there, and I'm getting hit by every backpack that's headed on back. You see all these stuffed animals, and then I look over, and this lady has started to do her nails on the flight. And I'm not saying like, oh, like putting some press on nails. She was doing like a full buff and polish in her like skin cells, and she's shaving them down, and all of it is going everywhere. She spent the entire flight doing her, I mean, she spent hours doing her nails. She was like trimming them, and what's the thing? Like the sandpapery thingy, and then buffing them out. And then on top of it, opens up some nail polish and starts like painting her nails. Again, recycled air, bitch. You think we all want to get high on your $2.99 nail polish from CVS? No, if you were wondering what the fucking answer to that was. And the same note on things smelling. Look, airlines will offer you a little snack, a little treat. You know, it's usually pretzels or cookies or something along that sort. The people that feel that it is okay to bring like beef jerky onto a flight, I think that the overall theme here I want everyone to know is recycled air. We have a limited air supply, and we're all sharing it. Why do you think COVID spread so fast? There is no reason for you to get on a flight and make, you know what, let's have some fried chicken and beef jerky and open that up. Like, absolutely not. Keep your Slim Jims off my flight. Okay? It's awful. I like it. So these are just some things that I like. I thought these would be just, everyone would understand this and know that these are kind of the basic rules, but I continue to see this over and over and over. And the next thing, when you are on a flight, and I don't care at what point of the flight this is, I need you to keep your goddamn shoes on for the whole flight from start to finish. There is zero reason for you to be taking your nasty, sweaty feet out of your shoes and placing them on the wall or anywhere on a plane. Okay? Like, you should, to be honest, you shouldn't even be wearing sandals. Put some sneakers on and just sit down and shut up. Like, there was a girl next to me or across the way on the aisle, and she had bright orange hair, which of course, I mean, she literally looked like a walking Cheeto. And she sits down, she takes her feet out of her shoes, she takes her toes and she curls them into the seat back pocket in front of her. That is disgusting. What makes you think, oh yeah, you know, I'm just going to pull my feet out here, my Neanderthal feet, and stick them in this pouch that people like put their hands in because you need to grab, I don't know, if you read the safety instructions or you need to throw a bag, or I don't know. But at what point, when did this switch? Because I remember, well, I don't remember because I'm too young, but I know there was a time in existence when flying was like a privilege and people would get dressed up for it and you would try to look good. Like, can we move past like wearing sweatpants and looking like grunge on an airplane? And I'm not saying you have to get decked out like you're going to the Met Gala, but could we, like, I don't know, put a nice shirt on, wear a nice sweater, put some jeans? I don't know. Can we just wear proper shoes, do something? Like, I don't understand why it is like we don't brush our hair, we look like slobs, we have stuffed animals, and we're like, open up the Slim Jims. Who set this as the standard? It needs to change. I'm telling you, this is a public service announcement for everyone that flies. There's no need for it. None. And I just think this is a real issue. It's gotten so out of hand. And this is, again, is another reason why I will pay extra money to sit in first class, because I will sit in seat 1A where I don't have to look at these people. And I'm the first one on that plane and I'm the first one off of it. Okay? So call me a stuck-up bitch if you want. I don't care. This is how I feel. And frankly, I feel like a lot of people agree, but people are continuing to be the problem. Like, here's the next thing. In general, when people go out in public, you look in the mirror and you think, okay, I look good. You might not think, oh, this is my best, but everyone leaves thinking, okay, yeah, this is good. So the fact that some of you go out, you wake up, you don't even brush your hair. It looks like a rat's nest, and you're walking onto the plane. What kind of way is that to present yourself? Right? It's beyond me. And I think that this is something we need to work on as a collective. Okay, everyone? One last note and we'll move on from flights. When the plane lands at your destination, there's no need to clap. You don't need to clap. The pilot has simply done their job. Their job is to get you from point A to point B. Clapping when a plane lands, that's like clapping when Starbucks gives you your coffee. You don't sit and clap for that. They've done their job. What were you expecting? Were you expecting to go down? You shouldn't put that energy out there. So enough with the clapping. Even if there's turbulence, there's nothing they can do. They're riding it out. So no need to clap when flights land. And that's the last I'm going to say on airplanes for now. And, like I said, if you can fly private, it really is the way to go. But I understand not everyone can do that. I get it. Come back to reality, Benjamin. Okay, so this episode, we have my friend Elise. We're going to get into all things Stagecoach and Coachella because it's really interesting. And there's a totally different group of people that go to both. I mean, we go from like hippie drug users to redneck alcoholics, and it's super fun. So hope you guys enjoy it. Here's my friend Elise. Let's get into it. I would like to welcome Miss Elise Hansen to the podcast. She is one of my best friends. We have traveled the world together. We've actually done a lot of things together. Have we not, Miss Elise?
We've really been everywhere together. Lots of laughs, lots of memories.
Lots of parties.
Lots of parties.
So tell me, how's your week?
Well, Ben, I'd have to say it's been a week. I don't even know where to start. I think birthdays are amazing. I'm a big birthday person. I also feel like they're like a national holiday. So I'm driving out to Stagecoach, which you were coming with me. And as I'm heading out there, I get in a full-blown car accident.
Oh,
so I've had a little fender bender here or there, whatever, parking lot, small things. I got rear-ended and borderline nailed on the freeway on my way out for my birthday for Stagecoach by this guy in this little tiny red car, completely totals it, zero insurance, no cars registered. I mean, the worst case scenario basically happened to me. So happy birthday to me. But that's how my week kicks off. So it's just, it's too much. I'm very overwhelmed. I'm a bit frazzled. I've been dealing with all of this today. So this is just, it's been a week. It's been a week.
Does your back hurt? Does your neck hurt?
Can't look over my left shoulder. So if you see me facing this way, that's why. Can't bend over. Can't finish unpacking from the weekend because I can't get into my suitcase. Everything's elevated. I basically walking around like a 90-year-old. But yeah, no, I'm in some serious pain. I'm in a lot of pain.
And you were hit with a man with no insurance.
I was hit with a man with no insurance, no registered card. A very nice person. I'm not trying to go after him. I'm not trying to ruin his life, but it's worst case scenario has happened. And of course it's me. I tend to think I have good luck, but in certain situations I get like the worst luck. So it's just a lot to deal with. And, walking a little bit for the festival, I tried to do as much as I could to get dropped off in better areas, whatever I could do, the heating pads, the icing, the whole thing. Nothing's worked. I can't look past this. So I'm a little stuck. I'm stuck.
And you had to get a rental car, right? You had to go because your cars get fixed.
So here's the deal. They tell me I need to drop my car off at an auto body shop that they recommend me to. So I follow all the steps. I call and do everything. Then they tell me you got to go through insurance for your enterprise rental car. And I'm like, okay, is that the only place I could go through? I'm trying to make things easy. I get there. Enterprise is like, you only have X amount per day. We can only really get you in a small size compact vehicle. Mind you, I drive a normal SUV. So I get, I wish you were there because we would have laughed. The guy's taking me around the parking lot and there's nothing against, small cars, but like literally a 2-door smart car. There's another hatchback situation where here I just got rear-ended going 55, 60 miles an hour on a freeway. The last thing I want to do is get into a vehicle a third the size of mine. And also to the point where you get in the car and it feels like you're sitting on the floor.
Oh,
so
I hate that.
I'm looking around and I'm going, okay, so now if this isn't covered, I'm probably going to have to pay out of pocket to get in like a normal size sedan. Where are those? Ma'am, we don't have any left. You came a little late today. I got there at 11 a.m. I should have been there at 10:30, but I forgot all the paperwork in my wallet when I got basically to the shop. So I had to turn around, come home, and go back fighting LA traffic. So within that 30-minute window, I said, "You're telling me you have rented out all of your normal sized cars and SUVs?" "Yes, ma'am. That's absolutely correct." So then I said, "I'll be right back. I'm going to go talk to your manager." I go inside. I'm asking for the manager. His name is Michael. They go, "Oh, that's Michael who's helping you." Don't you think he would have been like, "Well, I am the manager"?
Oh my God, you said I'm going to go speak to the manager and he failed to mention, FYI, I am the fucking manager.
He watches me walk all the way back into Enterprise, like, tilted sideways because my back hurts so bad, asking for the manager. And then he comes outside and he's like, "Oh, yeah, hey, I'm Michael. I'm the manager." I've had it.
On that, I have had such an issue with stupid people. And this is totally random. But so I was helping AJ's parents sell a table because I like sell shit on Facebook Marketplace all the time, right?
Of course you do.
So I list their table on Facebook Marketplace because I don't know, they I don't think they have a Facebook account or whatever. I'm like, I literally have sold so much shit on there. I was like, I'll just list it for you guys. So I list the table. This lady messages me. She's super interested. I click on her profile. She looks like a normal old lady, lives in the town. I'm like, okay, this is great. And she's like, "Can my husband and I come look at it? Like, we just want to take some measurements and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, all good." So, and I'm also thinking like, oh, when you come take the measurements, you'll probably end up buying it and taking it. So I am going back and forth with her, and I tell AJ's parents, I said, "Hey, I got a lady. She wants to come by this time. All good." And they're like, "Great." So I give the lady their address, and I give the lady AJ's dad's phone number. And I say, "Hey, what's your phone number so that like you guys can communicate with each other?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't give out my number." She goes, "But when I call them, just tell them it's a 940 number." And I'm like,
Work.
"You dumb bitch. Do you not think when you call, they're going to have your number?" She's like, "I don't give my number." Like, what do you think I'm going to do? Go sign you up for the Church of Scientology? What are you scared to give your number out for? So then she's like, I'm like, literally, when you call them with your 940 area code, I'm sorry, caller ID was invented in like the 1994. I think we're going to have your fucking phone number.
This makes me think of something, and now I'm actually petrified. The guy who hit me took a picture of my license, so he has my home address
How can he get your home address?
because he took a picture of my license, and I took a picture of his.
Oh, the driver's license.
So he has my full-blown home address. What if this guy's like a psycho killer?
Well, don't worry, your security guards got you covered.
I do have minimal security. However, I don't know if that's going to stop anybody.
What's the guy at the front?
Oh, bless his heart. We have a guy named John. He actually has tackled an intruder once before. They say he's actually really quick on his feet, but pulling up, it's definitely alarming. And I do warn my friends and family, but we've gotten to the point where everybody knows John now, so I don't really have to say anything. But actually, I think that's a perfect. What was you? Was it you? It was you. Oh my God! When you were coming to visit. I failed to mention, and I apologize. I had so much going on that day. I always have a lot going on. And I figured, oh, Ben will get through. He's smart. He understands. He knows where my place is. Well, I will never forget the look on your face. I opened my front door, and all you said was, "Elise, you dropped your bags." I really apologize, but I don't think of it anymore. I see it every day I walk in or drive in.
I'm sweating. Okay, let's take a quick break and let's get into festivals. Okay, so the reason we're here to talk today is we're going to talk about festivals, mainly Stagecoach versus Coachella. And I feel like everyone knows what that is, right? Unless you live under like a rock.
I would hope so.
I mean,
there's the largest festivals out there.
Yeah, like Coachella, for everyone that I guess maybe doesn't know. It's a two weekend festival in Palm Springs. Coachella is it's a huge music festival. It goes on for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 weekends. And it is like flower crowns and free spirits and a shit ton of drugs and really good artists. Like they'll have DJs to, you know, kind of up and coming people, and then they'll get some big headliners like Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Post Malone.
This year they had Green Day.
Green Day. This year, who was the headliners this year? Lady Gaga, Green Day,
and Post Malone.
Okay. And then so Coachella's for 2 weeks, then after that is Stagecoach, which is pretty much the same thing except a little smaller, and it's all country music. So those headliners will be like Luke Combs, Shania Twain,
we had Jelly Roll, Zach
Jelly
Bryan.
Roll.
Actually, Post Malone headlined last year, so he's very universal now that he can do both festivals, which is pretty cool.
So the reason I'm wearing this hat today, if you're watching this or if you're looking at any of the clips, is because when you go to Stagecoach, which Elise and I have gone the last 2 years in a row together for her birthday, you literally get like city people and people from all over the country that like want to be cowboys. So these people are wearing like boots and hats, and like they have never stepped foot on a horse. They've never done anything remotely Western, but this is like their time to shine.
Totally. I think it's also such a fad. It's almost like everyone from Los Angeles runs to Coachella to be a boho chic influencer. And then you have Stagecoach the third week later, and everyone runs back from LA to get their country swag on. They come out in cowboy boots, hats, you know, dressed to the nines, that now they're something straight out of Texas. However, I am guilty. I go to both festivals. I love them both. I'm a huge music guru. But I'm not trying to conform and fit the mold. I've always loved country music. I grew up riding horses. I don't ride anymore. And I love all that stuff. So being able to go to both, I think it's really fun. And it also depends on who's headlining. So if there's somebody I really want to see, then I'm going to go. But I think a lot of these people that want to be seen and want to go to festivals, it's turned into this hoopla of people trying to conform and dress the part just to get an Instagram photo. It's
Totally.
like changed over the years tremendously.
Yeah, and I think some of the big differences, I would say, in my opinion, because I've also been to both multiple times, I think Coachella is much more drug heavy, and I would say that Stagecoach is much more alcohol heavy.
I think you don't really have anyone that's raving at a DJ set with laser lights and things like that at Stagecoach per se. However, at Coachella, I guess it's a little more of that rave type stuff. I don't know. I don't do heavy drugs, so it's hard for me to identify, I guess. However, Stagecoach, I like that you can order a beer or a cocktail and you can walk freely around the festival. Coachella, you can't do that. You have to basically stay in beer gardens. And then there's a main stage VIP situation where there are opposite ends of the fields, and you have to hurry up, drink your drink before you can run out to go see somebody perform. And that, I think, is so restrictive and so annoying, because I might want to just have a glass of wine or a beer or a cocktail and watch whoever I'm performing, and you can't do that. So I think that is so annoying.
Yeah, and I think the big reason is probably because there's so many younger people at Coachella, and I'm sure they can't control like giving alcohol to younger kids.
Probably. And, you know, the festival, Coachella, is twice the amount of people than Stagecoach. I think this year was over 200-something thousand.
Yeah, and there's more stages at Coachella.
Coachella's triple the size. There's different DJ stages, probably 3 different ones. There's the Sahara tent, the new Quasar thing that I actually haven't experienced yet. There's outdoor stage, main stage, like a Gobi stage, like all these other little festival stage setups, tents, activations versus Stagecoach. You have like main stage, a couple tents, and like an outdoor theater type thing. So it's very confined, but it still feels like it's the same size as Coachella to me because of the way that they, I guess, kind of condensed the polo fields.
Yeah.
Everybody's running around like a mad person in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. So
I do agree, though. It would be fun at Coachella if you could just like have your cocktail, go watch your person, and like continue on.
That would be ideal. You know, and I think it's just the hype of it. The music is so different. So the energy is different. The setup is different. I don't know.
I think for me, the worst part, because we've gone on different from, VIP. What are you laughing at?
Just the ends of the spectrum that we've gone from here to middle to, we've seen it kind of all across the board.
Literally, we've had like, and we'll get into in a minute, like the different types of passes, but we've literally gone from like pretty much general admission to like full on artist pass where it's like full access to, you can like go in people's trailers.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
crazy. But I think no matter what pass you have, whatever, the worst part is getting into the festival.
Getting into the festival, I don't know why they haven't gotten this figured out in 20 years. It is a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
And everyone who works there has no clue what's going on. Not a clue.
No clue. And like, so Elise's family, they have a house right, was it across the street? It's like pretty much across the street.
Yeah, it's across the street.
It's very close. Like it's in eye shot.
Mhm.
And for us to get there the other night, like we had to get out of the hideaway, which your dad dropped us off on this golf cart, and then you have to get like wristbands to like get into the festival. You have to get wristbands to get back into where you live. You have to have wristbands that show you're old enough to drink. Like your arm, I actually have one of them on still on my arm right now. But you have to have all these fucking wristbands. Just it's crazy. But then once you get out of the community that she lives in or has a house in, it took us another like 20 minutes to get just to get to the festival gate. And then you had to walk, then you have to go through 2 or 3 like checkpoints. And then it's like another 20 minutes to get into the festival. And mind you, this is when we went on Sunday and it was like no one was there. There was no line, there was no crowd. Like everyone was already either in the festival or had gone home. And then you have to get in, and then you have to walk to these stages and go to this like the different, and trying to get through all the people. Like that's the worst. Once you're in your wherever you want to be, it's amazing. But like for me, the worst part is just the getting in. And then at night when you're wasted and you want to just go home, and there is no easy way out.
No. The way they set it up could be so easy for, homes like where mine is, to walk across the street, be in the festival and be like, wow, this is amazing. Technically, with the pass that we had, we needed to drive down about 10 minutes to go all the way around the polo fields to enter from an opposite side to let them drop you off where you would scan and walk right in to go get yourself a drink and then go to the stage. So
what I think they should do is have multiple entrances and exits, and at each entrance, there's different lines for different passes.
Yeah, that's how it should be to make things run smoothly. Yeah.
Like there's like 4 entrances, and at each entrance there's like a general admission, there's a rhinestone, there's a VIP, there's an artist pass, there's different lines for each one, and then you can just go wherever you want to go.
That would be too easy. Would be too easy.
Okay, let's talk about what's even better than the festivals, which is the parties.
The parties are amazing. That just got me hot and bothered.
Right. I would rather go to the if I couldn't afford a pass, I would rather go to the parties.
Some of the parties are so fun. And excuse me, this is what kills me. Every year until like the party started, so let's circle back 7, 8 years ago. There used to be a Lacoste party when Lacoste was really cool. One of the highlights of my years at Coachella, you walk in this beautiful villa. I don't know, some of them might have been at the Merv Griffin estate, like all kinds of beautiful homes. It is free drinks, free swag, free whatever you want, amazing music, beautiful looking people, activations, fun things, hair braiding, anything you could think of. They're doing it there. And you walk in and you're like, oh my God, this is like one of the most well put together, insane parties I've ever been to. Mind you, this is daytime. Every single year before things kind of changed, there'd be a surprise guest. So let's say, I don't know, 8 years ago, there's, the Lacoste party's going on. And who's a big DJ back then? 8 years ago, that's like, up and coming. I don't know. Let's just use like Kygo, for example, because I can't think now. But it wasn't Kygo. All of a sudden, it'd be like, wait, is that so-and-so? And then he's just setting up his little table, putting his little chords together. And it's like, oh, hey, Kygo's here. He's going to do a little performance. No one bothers him. No one does anything. Everyone's just sitting there chilling, and he's drinking and talking to the crowd. Always like that. Then fast forward, now we've got Revolve parties, the influencer side, all of this, which is a huge production. And I think we saw Post Malone actually at the Revolve party when we went with Paige.
Yeah, and then did we go to the Soho party?
We went to the Revolve one first, and then I think the next day we did the Soho party, which I think that's where we were sitting next to Leonardo DiCaprio, like a cabana thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's all these new things, but some of the parties are better than the festival.
Which
And
one did we go to at Zanyara?
Zanyara,
Was it
I don't
Bootsy
know.
Bellows?
Bootsy might have sponsored that because now it's sponsored by Desert Nights and Wynn Nightlife. So they've put in all of this stuff for production with like, Vegas style stuff, tables, bottle service. I think we saw Tiesto.
Oh, that's right.
Tiesto. So that might have been Bootsy Bellows, and now it's completely sponsored by something else. But there's also like Neon Carnival. But Neon Carnival, if you don't get there ahead of time, you can't get in. So you have to miss the headliner of Coachella to leave to get to Thermal Airport to get in before it gets, too exhausted of lines where there's no way. They're 3 miles long. You can't get in.
Well, that's what I remember. Remember our friend Blaine and Amir couldn't get in because of the line, and they jumped the fence.
Was that Neon or was that Senyora?
No, that was Neon because it was at the airport.
Yes, that's right, because they came like all bloody.
Well, the next morning they came home at like 5 a.m. The next morning they came home at like 5 a.m. and we're like, what happened? And they're like cut up. I mean, I don't think Blaine is the most like, agile of them all.
His hands are all bloody. He's very fair skinned.
Yeah, he was bloody, bruised, and they came riding back on this golf cart, and we were like, what in the hell has happened?
You?
Oh yeah.
Yep. So
but I will say, of all the parties, I think the best one we've ever been to was Casamigos party at Cindy Crawford's house. That party was so fun. You literally walk in, you have to take a shot of Casamigos out of a glass or out of a ice shot glass, and then you throw the ice shot glass at the gong. That was how you get in, and then you walk into her beautiful house, and there was like bars set up, and I mean everyone was there. Kardashians were there, housewives were there, Scooter Braun was there, Machine Gun Kelly was there,
Fox, that's right.
Yeah, Megan Fox was there. I mean, there were so many people there, and it was like there was people in the pool, there was people like there was so much happening at that house. It was like that party was one I was like, do we really want to go to the festival? Like, this is way better.
I contemplate it. And I've been to so many parties between Coachella and Stagecoach and all these things, special access, whatever it is. That is hands down one of the best parties and put on parties I have ever stepped foot in.
Yeah, it was. It was like, I mean, it was just amazing. And like Cindy Crawford was gorgeous. And
her and or I think Randy and I have the same birthday. So, but I mean, yeah, it was almost like we were just hanging out at friends' houses. Everyone was so cool. Like the food station was a complete gourmet, setup where, sometimes you go to parties, you don't eat, you don't know what it is. It's always whatever. This was like 10 out of 10. The bars, the drinks, no lines. Everyone's cool, giving you this, giving you that, a little extra. Here, take a shot. It was it was a 12 out of 10. It was fantastic. It was phenomenal. And the company you're with makes it even better.
Remember they were like walking around with Casamigos shots.
Yeah.
And it was not one of those parties where you walk in and it's like cliquey or you don't know anyone. It literally felt like we were just at someone's, it was like a friend's house and everyone's just hanging out, talking. People are coming up to each other. Like it was the most, I don't know, that party goes down in history as one of the best festival parties.
I think you were a perfect conversation starter at this party because you were dressed up like Beyoncé with her Cowboy Carter situation.
Well, I was dressed in a male romper, a red, white, and blue male romper, and then I had my Cowboy Carter sash.
Right. So
I remember Scooter Braun came up to me and he goes, "You are the best dressed here."
He did. I was sitting right next to you. I was like, but then everyone also thought we were together. So they're like, "Oh, your boyfriend looks amazing. Oh, is this your husband?" I'm like, "Oh, well, this is Ben."
I'm like, "No, my husband's over there."
I'm looking for mine.
Right.
It's too funny. But best party ever.
Yeah, if you ever somehow get the opportunity to go to the parties, if you can't afford to go to the actual festivals, go to the parties. The parties are so fun. And not that, I mean, Casamigos is hard because that one, you can't just like buy a ticket to that. You have to know people.
You have to be invited, yeah.
But the Neon Carnival, the Zanyara, all these other parties, you can get tickets to go.
Yeah, I think they're all ticketed events. And then if you can get, some sort of access through, I guess, a promoter or a friend who's doing something, they always offer these other little things. But I think the day parties for me are more fun. So you're kind of getting loose and doing your thing and hanging out. It's always beautiful weather. And then from there, you get yourself situated and you go to the festival for the rest of the night. That's ideally how I would like to do it versus leaving the festival early to get to a party to sit in traffic. But,
I agree. Okay, so what out of all the festivals you've ever been to, all the years, who are some of your favorite artists you've ever seen?
Oh God, that's such a hard question. You know what's so random is when I just saw Shabuzi at like 6 o'clock. The sun was still up. It was hot out, but it was almost like that perfect weather. Um, at Stagecoach last weekend, I was like, oh my God, this is like ideal. I like when it's like you can see it's not nighttime yet. He looked so close and clear to me. I could see the sweat dripping off of his face. I love him and I love his voice already. So I was just really fired up to see him. But he reminded me of a time, like I had this weird memory flashback when I was at Coachella with my sister, Melissa, and Steven, my brother. And we had just gotten to Kid Cudi. I'm not even a huge Kid Cudi fan.
Mm-hmm.
It was the highlight of one of my Coachellas forever. It was the same time. You know, Coachella always has those balloons in the sky. It's like their famous little photo. You can see it and everything.
Yeah.
It's like the sun is setting. It's like a purple and orange background. Everybody loves that Pursuit of Happiness song. Kid Cudi is at the edge of the stage. I felt like I could almost touch him. And the entire crowd is singing, but like you have space around you. No one's acting drunk and weird. It was like one of my favorite performances I've ever seen. But it's hard to compare that to, okay, a few years ago, Melissa and I get there late and it's like 1 a.m. and Jack White is jamming on the guitar for a 3-hour solo, basically. I mean, where do you get to see stuff like that? That's an amazing situation, too. Um, Over the years, there's been so many artists, and now it's more like DJ heavy. But we saw Alesso at the Sahara tent, and confetti was flying everywhere for hours. Laser lights, doing all this crazy stuff, dancing. I think Diplo was right in front of me at the time. He wasn't like Diplo was Diplo. He was whatever. Funny story because like now we have so many inside jokes with Diplo being at our friend's party and things like that.
Yeah, now we call him Dip No.
Dip now. He can dip on out of here.
You can dip
But
away.
he was, or Alesso was incredible. And then like I have memories of seeing like Red Hot Chili Peppers on a Saturday night at 9 p.m. Like it's just been so many, but I think those are highlights that come to mind right now.
I think my favorite has to be Beyonce.
Yeah, I've seen Beyonce, but you know, I think she's an incredible performer. She's just not my favorite.
We're not. Okay, agree to disagree. Moving on.
She's an incredible performer, though. I give her that. Absolutely. I do. I saw Lady Gaga several years ago, and I think
I was there.
Yeah, she nailed it, but I missed this year's, and I think she probably blew it out of the water from what I saw.
I saw her a few years ago, or like, was it like 6 years ago now?
Yeah, so we were probably at the same show, but we didn't know each other.
Oh, sad. Yeah, she was great. What is the worst fashion trend you've seen at these festivals?
Oh, God. Well, okay, we can start with Coachella because I don't even know if people wear clothes there anymore. If you're not in your crown with your jeweled out boho skirt that, you know, clasps at the top but has a slit, you know, at your hip, like, are you not cool? I don't know. They don't wear clothes anymore. So I'd have to say Stagecoach wins for the worst outfits because it starts to look costumey and hokey. And the girls that wear chaps that shouldn't be wearing chaps, like, why?
Yeah, see, the thing about Coachella is like these girls are and guys are like hot and chic. And yes, they probably don't have a lot of clothes on, but they still look good for the most part. Stagecoach, it's like fucking no, but it's like these like fat, like acne ridden, like can you brush your fucking hair?
It's like you're at the fair. You know when you go to the fair and you see different looking people sometimes, not to you know, call people ugly. I think everyone's
But they're ugly. It's a great Stagecoach is a great way to make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of bad outfit choices, and it's almost like it's Halloween Town. It's Halloween Town.
Yeah. Oof, some of it's really rough. The most annoying thing people do at these festivals.
Well, to get really down and dirty is when they litter. I mean, I can't stand when I see people crush a beer. It's always that drunk idiot. They'll slam a beer, they'll hit it on their forehead to condense it like they're like Macho Man, and then they throw it. Oh my God.
It's disgusting.
Drives me bonkers. Makes me never want to go to a festival when I see stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the list, I could go on and on about the things that drive me nuts. You know, the ugly people, the stupid people, the ignorance.
Stupid people and the drunk people.
Yeah, and I don't mind drunk, like, because I like to get drunk. I don't mind the drunkenness, but it's like
next level sloppiness.
Yeah, sloppiness, like just being stupid, ugly, and annoying.
Yeah.
That's
Of
all. That
course.
all drives me nuts.
That's for both festivals.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so final thoughts. Coachella, Stagecoach. You had to pick one.
Ooh. uh, I think I'm a Coachella girl at heart. There's more going on. There's more music, more things that I want to see. And it's kind of like where I first started in my festival journey. I think it just offers more, even like the party stuff too.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I had to pick, like, I love going to both or either one, but if I had to pick like just one, it would be Stagecoach. I mean, Coachella.
Overall, Coachella. Stagecoach, don't get me wrong, it's getting better each year as I'm exploring it. Maybe third time's the charm. But, I've gone Coachella 10 plus years. So I think that's like, I don't know. That's my thing. That's my jam. And
All right, so
I've taken a couple years off. So next year it's on.
for next year, final question: who would you pick as your top 3 headliners?
Oh my God, it's the hardest ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a Saturday night, I would love to see Rihanna with a comeback.
Ooh,
I love her so much. Maybe mixed with another headliner, that like a really good DJ. I mean, you could throw like a Calvin Harris in there. How sick would that be at like a Sahara tent with his production? And then maybe bring it back with some rock. Like, let's get a rock band in there that we haven't seen in ages, or someone who's like new. I don't know. Like, I'm a huge Chili Pepper fan. That would be amazing if Chili Peppers, Rihanna, a Calvin Harris was there. I mean, that's what a Coachella.
see, I would probably do Friday night. I would do Friday night Rufus to Soul. I would do Saturday night Beyonce, and then I would do Sunday Miley Cyrus.
Do you think Miley Cyrus is big enough to hold a Coachella like that, though, as a headliner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She'd be good in like maybe one of those Prince right below for me.
Easy.
I'd actually love to see Lady Gaga again. I mean, how cool
Yeah.
is that? But Rihanna's my girl, and I would love to see her come out.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's been a week and recapping the festival life of Stagecoach and Coachella. And for everyone else out there, I'll see you next Tuesday. Okay, and look at you. You're back already. Been there, done that with AJ.
Well, I'll just have to say the opening of this podcast may be my favorite ever.
Mm-hmm. Me talking about the airplanes?
No, me.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, we all know everyone sticks around for the end because of me.
I don't know. I got to look at the statistics of where people are dying off if they're listening all the way to the end. We don't know that that's factual.
Well, I know there are some people that definitely listen because they let me know.
Maybe they fast forward just to get to your part.
That sounds about right.
Could happen. Okay, Stagecoach, Coachella. Which one do you like better?
I don't know. Honestly, I like Outside Lands in San Francisco.
I've never been there.
It is the best. Outside Lands is amazing because they bring all the best food from San Francisco to the park. And so they have the best restaurants that do these pop-ups. It's great. And the artists are just like, I don't know, they're better. I mean, I saw Sam Smith when he was like first coming out. I feel like someone real big was there that year too, like Barbara Streisand or someone. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
It was like really cool. It wasn't Barbara Streisand. But
I feel like our next one's going to be ACL.
yeah, for sure. Before we knew each other, I went to Coachella a few times. So much fun. And we had nothing but GA tickets, and we just had the best time of our lives. And obviously we've been on the complete opposite side going with Paige, which was just like unreal and spectacular.
Right.
As is everything that we get to do with her. But with them in general, like, I think there's this thing about like, if you can't do it like that, like if it can't just be like, you're an artist, basically.
Right.
I feel like everything else is like, just go have fun. Because no matter, like, think about Stagecoach last year when we went, the VIP like section and line, like the line was 500 people deep to get into the VIP section. Remember that? I took a video. It took me like a minute and a half to walk the line, taking a video of people just trying to get into VIP. It was like the stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's become too like
They changed that this year because last year was a disaster, I think. So they
Yeah.
switched it this year. But so I feel like when you go to these types of music experiences, like a festival or whatever, like unless you're at that artist level, like it's just kind of like go and have a good time, because it's not like you're going to a concert where you have front row seats, or you're like, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, you can be in these special sections. And yes, it does make a huge difference to always be right up near the artist. Like, that's my favorite way to go to experience anything. As you know, we go to concerts and like we convince people if they bought tickets to go move to the fucking
switch them up.
But festivals are fun. Like, I don't know, Stagecoach is okay. It's just like we live where like people are
We live in
really-
Stagecoach.
Yeah. And like, you know, there is the discussion around like, are people just showing up to be performative, like, and dress up to like play a part? Which, yeah, but isn't that where like everything, that's how we are with everything, I think, nowadays, because everyone wants to take a picture and post it and like have people be like, oh, you look amazing.
But now you can just use AI and be like, make it look like I'm at Stagecoach.
Yeah, well, then that would be a lie. So,
It'd save you a lot of money.
yeah, but like life is about experiences, not about people making believe.
No, but I'm saying if you're just doing it for the photo.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
In general, I like to show up for something and experience it for a little bit and leave. I have no problem being like, hey, I'm here, look cool, experience it, feel it, yeah, and get out.
That's why I said I think the parties are more fun. Like, I would much rather go just to the parties than to the actual festival.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even the parties, like, yes. But if
I
you're,
think
like,
even,
if
no,
you're
like a
s-
house party.
Yeah. It's like anything. Like, it's so much more fun to be able to go to an intimate, invite only party, whatever that is, even if it's your friends throwing like a special dinner,
Mhm.
than to show up to like some like rager of a party where there's all kinds of people. Well, so then that's the end of this episode.
Really quick, if you could have your dream Coachella lineup Friday, Saturday, Sunday, who would it be?
Okay, Friday night, I'd go with legendary divas
Okay.
like Patti LaBelle, Shaka Khan, Gladys Knight, all of them combined, do something fabulous.
Okay. Saturday.
Saturday night, like uber diva, either Mariah Carey or Celine Dion. Like,
Perfect.
ooh, one of them would be amazing.
Sunday.
Like taking it down a little bit, like make it more chill, cool vibe. Probably Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill would be exceptional.
All right. There you go. Make sure you guys tune in next week for our Mother's Day episode, and I will see you next Tuesday.